And we are back with another picks and predictions video for UFC 327 Prochazka versus Ulberg, coming off a successful night last week where we had Money Moicano winning and he made it look easy. Let's look to carry over that momentum into this week. Unfortunately, we went 3-3 in terms of betting, but we did make it on the UFC prediction tracker leaderboard for method of victory, so that deserves some credit. Let's try to repeat that success this week and maybe even reach other leaderboards. Shout out to the UFC predictions tracker for tracking my content. He's a phenomenal YouTuber. Be sure to go to his channel and subscribe if you're not already. Now let's get straight into the picks and predictions. Starting off at the welterweight division, we have Charles Radtke set to face off against Francisco Prado. And I'm so confident in this pick. I think Charles Radtke dominates Prado. Prado is known for his durability. That's all he's known for. He has very low fight IQ. Unlike Charles Radtke, he has such high fight IQ. Like, he has good striking, and he can mix it up for sure. If he's losing the striking battle, he's going to take the fight down to the ground. Francisco Prado, he will be able to get back to the feet at the start of the fight, and then he's going to wear tired. The more and more Radtke takes him down, and he's just going to get control. He could even get submitted, but he's proven to be fairly durable. He's proven to stick within the fight, so Charles Radtke, he's probably just going to beat him down for 3 rounds, winning a unanimous decision, placing a bet on Charles Radtke to win. Moving on to the middleweights, we have Kelvin Gastelum set to face off against Vicente Luque. These guys were once welterweights. Vicente Luque is moving up a weight class. Kelvin Gastelum, I don't even know what's going on with him and his weight class. He fights a welterweight, middleweight. He can't make both of them. But at this point, he just fights. Vicente Luque, ever since he lost to Jeff Neal, he has looked absolutely terrible, apart from his fight against Themba Karimbo, which I predicted accurately. But yeah, he has looked terrible. His chin is not the same. He gets submitted, like, dominated by Joel Alvarez. There's not much fight left in him. Kelvin Gastelum, he still has some dog in him. Kelvin Gastelum, I think he manages to just beat him by decision, but it's one you should definitely stay away from in terms of betting. These two guys can definitely let you down, but Kelvin Gastelum, as I've said before, has more fight in him, so I think he wins by decision. Moving on to the lightweights, we have Marquel Medeiros set to face off against short nose replacement who missed weight in Chris Padilla. Guys, I really like Chris Padilla here in the UFC. He's looked like an absolute monster. He landed a mean elbow, swelling up the eye of, I think it was Rong Zhu, and winning that fight by KO. He knocked out Ismail Bonfim. Like, the dude just has that power in him, and it's going to be very hard for you to take him out. Marquel Medeiros, he went to split decision against Austin Hubbard, who is not a good fighter by any means. Chris Padilla is going to walk right through him. I think Chris Padilla lands some solid shots and put him out, winning by KO, placing a bet on Chris Padilla to win. On to the strawweights, we have Tatiana Suarez set to face off against Lupita Godinez. And this fight, I see Tatiana Suarez imposing her wrestling, which is the only thing she's got, and winning a unanimous decision. Lupita Godinez, she's a much more well-rounded fighter. If the fight stays standing, she should dominate. However, she has low fight IQ. And I can even see her trying to wrestle Tatiana and getting reversed, ending up on bottom. Once she's on bottom, there's no getting up from there. She might be able to land some shots early, but like I said, as the fight goes on, she's going to find her back on the mat. And Tatiana's just going to pummel her way, ground and pound, go for submission attempts, but mainly get control. On to the next fight. We got another control merchant in Mateusz Gamrot set to face off against Esteban Ribovics in the lightweight division. I like the side of Mateusz Gamrot. He looked terrible in his last fight against Charles Ulberg Oliveira, but a lot of people in this weight class would. Charles is very, very dominant, very nice striking, very solid grappling. Esteban Ribovics, nowhere near the level of Charles Oliveira. The only thing he has is those Kimura get-ups, which are sweet, but he is susceptible to being taken down. Against Luque Radzivov in his UFC debut, he got taken down quite a lot, but he got up. with those Kimura sweeps. But against this guy, Kamala Kirk, in the first round, he got absolutely controlled and dominated. Then after having to win the second and the third to win that unanimous decision, he's looked really good ever since then. But Gamrot, he's going to find a way to get Ribovics to the ground. Once Ribovics is on the ground, Gamrot is going to know how to keep him there. Gamrot is not going to be susceptible to that Kimura that Esteban loves to use. And Gamrot is just going to work him. He's gonna probably fail the first takedown, but he has very good chain. He has very good chain wrestling, and that's what's gonna get Ribovics on the mat. So give me Mateusz Gamrot to win by unanimous decision. On to the welterweights, we have Kevin Holland set to face off against Randy Rude Boy Brown, and this one is such a coin toss, and it's one I highly recommend you stay away from in terms of betting. But I really like the side of Randy Rude Boy Brown. I think he's looked much better than Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland is the guy that on his day he can look really good and upset just about anybody. He has a lot of power. He has some mean submissions, but pack him up into a corner, make it a hard day for him, and he will lose. I see Randy Brown just using that long rangy striking to get the better of him, landing some cleaner shots. It's gonna look kind of murky for him at times, but he should be able to outstrike Kevin Holland enough to win on the judges' scorecards. Next up, we're going to the featherweights. We have Patricio Pitbull set to face off against Aaron Pico. I really like the side of Aaron Pico here to win by KO. I think he has so much power. He pressures fighters. Patricio Pitbull, he doesn't do too well against pressure. The only worry, and the reason I recommend you stay away from in terms of betting, is Pico is susceptible to getting countered and KO'd. Patricio has some really nice timing, so he can be a guy to do so. And Aaron Pico also had that shoulder injury, which could reoccur, so stay away from him. He can even beat himself with that shoulder injury, but considering just skill alone, Aaron Pico should get the job done and win this by KO. He can even win by decision, but yeah, highly recommend stay away from it in terms of betting. Next up, we're going to the featherweights. We have Swanson set to make his final appearance in the UFC against Nate the Train Landwehr. I really like the side of Nate the Train here. I think he spoils the finale of Swanson. Swanson, a lot more technical. I think he manages to land some really nice, crisp, clean shots against Nate Landwehr. But the problem is, Nate, he doesn't look for a technical kind of fight. He's going to make it a brawl, and brawls are where he excels. If he can manage to get Swanson to fight like a bar fight, he's going to get the better of him, and he's going to land some really crisp shots. He's going to hurt Swanson. He's going to push him back a lot. He's going to make it look really nice for him in terms of what the judges see, and that's how he manages to get the victory here. So give me Nate Landwehr to win by decision. On to the light heavyweights, we have Dominick Reyes set to face off against Johnny Walker. This one is a very, very nice stylistic matchup where one guy is going to hit the canvas in a spectacular KO. I like the side of Dominick Reyes. I think he has some really crisp shot that Johnny Walker is going to walk straight into. Johnny Walker, he might make the fight a bit slow and make Dominick Reyes a bit more tentative. Dominick Reyes is a really good counter striker. He has a really nice left hand, and it's like a heat-seeking missile that will eventually find Johnny Walker's chin. Give me Dominick Reyes to win. Next up, we're going to the heavyweights where we have Curtis Razor Blaydes set to face off against Josh Hokit. Hokit has been so weird this week. Don't look at what he's done at press conferences, weigh-ins, interviews. Don't look at that to judge how the dude fights. He is a really, really good fighter, deserving of his undefeated record. He has a lot of power. He's a very, very dominant wrestler. And people suspect him to have bad cardio. Blaydes, he has good cardio, he has good hands, and he has good wrestling. The problem is, and I really like the side of Josh Hokit in this one. I think Josh Hokit wins, placing a bet on Josh Hokit to win. The reason is Curtis Blaydes is on the downside of his career. his strength is in the wrestling. And Josh Hokit, if he is how I think he's gonna be able to stop the takedowns. He's gonna be able to pressure Curtis Blaydes early. He's gonna land some powerful shots, and I do see him managing to cause a crazy upset and get a KO on Curtis Blaydes in the clinch up against the fence. Once this fight stays standing, I would give the edge to Josh Hokit. I do give the power advantage to Josh Hokit. And unless Curtis Blaydes can impose his wrestling, he's going to have a very, very long night. So give me Josh Hokit to win as the underdog. Next up, we're going back to the light heavyweights where we have Azamat Murzakhanov set to face off against Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa making his debut at the light heavyweight division, which was planned. I mean, against Martin Vittori, he did go to light heavyweight, but that was supposed to be a middleweight bout. Stepping up against the undefeated Murzakhanov. Give me Murzakhanov to knock Paulo Costa out. He is really, really powerful, and Paulo Costa, I don't see him managing to survive a power shot by Murzakhanov. I think Murzakhanov lands early. Paulo Costa is going to be put on a highlight reel and finish. If Paulo Costa manages to survive the first round, it's going to be a lot more difficult for Murzakhanov, but I don't see him being able to do so. So give me Murzakhanov to win. On to the main event where we have Yuri Prochazka set to face off against Carlos Ulberg for the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Both of these guys don't like to go to the judges' scorecards by any means. Yuri Prochazka, he has dynamite in those hands. His problem is his defense. Carlos Ulberg is a very, very technical striker. And I see him outlanding Yuri Prochazka, landing some leg kicks, immobilizing Yuri, and eventually landing that KO shot to put him out for the night. Give me Carlos Ulberg to win. That's going to be the pick and the play as the underdog. Yuri, he is a live favorite. You know, I understand why he is the favorite because of that one-hitter power. But look at what happened against Khalil Roundtree. If Khalil Roundtree had that knockout power, it was over for Yuri because he was getting picked apart in that fight. But his durability and that never say die attitude and that power is what got him that victory against Carlos Ulberg. He's not going to be able to take as much shots. So, anyway you see it, this fight is not going to see the final bell. So give me Carlos Ulberg to win by KO. And that has been my picks and predictions for UFC 327. Be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think of it down below. Subscribe, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, support the channel on the Patreon. I know I was supposed to upload this a lot earlier, but things happened and I just couldn't do it. If I was able to do YouTube full time, you know, if I was monetized, definitely will put things in place to get it out there by the Sunday of the next fight night. But sorry, just I know no excuses. Gonna try to work on that. Gonna try to improve so that my videos come out a lot early and you guys can have the bets. But I did post it. I did post all my plays on YouTube in the post section. So if you subscribe and you go to the post section, you can see the plays. I'll try to do that going forward until I figure out how to get the videos out earlier. I'll catch you in the next one. But until then, game time.